Hello, friend, and welcome back once again to Gergwix's War in the East. Let's continue where we left off and find, potentially, the means of destruction for the Red Army. I want to continue down here in the south. I really thought I did move these guys before... get here. It's weird. Oh well. I'll most certainly get both of these back in there once I have the chance, but let's first get that army back. Now these two in here. I do have the 48th Panzer Corps. And what I'll do is I'll switch up the general. Let's see what we have. So I want Hermann Balk is obviously very good too. Sure. Because he has 8 mech. And look, I need to build these Panzer Corps quite a bit. There's no artillery or anything in there for now, but we'll work with it. There's quite a bit of stuff under the 4th Panzer Army. Also not that much under the 40th Panzer Corps, but let's get the 48th and yeah, let's make sure at least both of them have 3 artillery. So 1 more to the 40th and the other 3 to the 48th. Okay, let's take a look at flak. Because I think these have none, these have 2. So there will be 3 for both. Alright, they don't have that many units yet either, but as what I want to do is I kind of need to move 4th Panzer Army down here too, and at that point not only do I want a depot here with number 2, this really needs to be 4 and this one too. Let's go back a bit. I'm gonna empty this, so what I'll be doing is I'll be putting this one to high priority. And yeah, that should be a bit better. This one can be a 2. This one should also be a 2 then. Yeah. I'm sure that's a pretty good idea this way. if they're breaking through, that might become a problem. We'll see. Indeed. Okay. So that's routed. And to be honest, I kind of need to take as many hexes as possible here, so... They sure cannot go in there. And only the 24th Panzer would be able to get into that hex. Nothing else. Now... I think these two will now be beaten relatively easily. 31,500, eh? That seems a tad much. This cavalry is not going to do a whole lot except take that hex. Now, I will launch a soft attack to get rid of those. And to be frank, I'll try to use them there to hold the river line. There's now a much bigger corridor. Can I? Okay. Out here. It means I can get out the 1st Romanian cavalry, which is at 14%. They clearly should not be in Stalingrad, but let's move them here for now. They can't do anything, they're unready. But at least that might, you know, help in getting them out. The same applies to these parts of the 18th Romanian. They got routed in there, but ultimately they need to go. I will use them to support the blockade on this area, but I have to take a look. I'm gonna have only 2 units there. I mean, I cannot hold this. It's not as if I can actually hope to leave that. The goal is to make sure that this stays open, so like they don't go through all of those hexes. That's the goal for this turn, at least. as it is. I'll still have reinforcements coming. The 48th Panzer Corps in this case is also going to be for you. I cannot get them off the train, but I guess next turn I will. Is it tricky? Yes, it is. Still have 22nd Panzer out here, but it's not... you're an assault army, right? Yeah, okay. To be honest, I kind of need to keep these guys here on reserve, it feels like. Unless... This is in the exact middle of everything, and they will get weaker through this way, but the reason why I think this is good at the very least is that now there's a zone of control like this for almost everything. They cannot go in just through that way. Kind of need to move these up in here. I'd rather stay along the river, which is not frozen yet, to block that there. Now, I think put those Romanians there. This needs to go like that. There's the 5th Cavalry. I think they can stay here. Let's actually remove this for a sec. This is 5. This is 1. They're surely going to attack this. So... much less likely down there. I kind of need these Romanians to block the region here too. At Kalach. There's something, again, something weird going on with the game. That still doesn't get it to 2. But the 376th can't really do a whole lot. I'll put them on the depot here. On refit. I'll do that. And 40th is there like this. That should hopefully work too. At least these two are marginally safe. I don't like the looks of this, but as I said, with the assault on the forces in here and me potentially going towards Moscow, I do hope to alleviate the situation there a bit. Now, I'm going to send both of these infantry divisions over to the Stalingrad area as well. That will take a while, but I'd rather have them arrive at some point than not at all. They can't get all the way. Probably even next turn they might not get super close even. But I'll try to get as many units there as possible. One of the problems, I think, as well, is that some of these units might actually be disbanded because they kind of like perished. Not all of them, apparently. In fact, most of them just going to the Western Theater. 7th, 21st. Huh. Okay. Well, I cannot get the infantry on there, but I can apparently get 13th Panzer. And I will move them up. Like, it will be quite necessary. I basically have to strip 1st Panzer Army bare, but yeah. Let's just put you in a refit. If they can, like, they're at 75, sure, but if they can get a bunch more men, that would be great. They do have enough supplies anyway. What I do need to do, though, is at the very least take a look for all units that are not bordering any enemy units, whether they are in refit, depending on their position. Like, these guys are below 70, so then I do want to put them on a refit here. These are at 100. 85, 94, 74 is okay. 90, 92. Most of these are actually in quite good of a position. Again, the thing that's pretty interesting here is giving up 960 men for potentially destroying their rail. I really don't know how it works for the Soviets in terms of rail repair and supply. I would have to take a look in between the episodes to see whether that is actually worth it. It is interesting as a concept, so I'm not saying out of hand that that's going to be a bad idea. Definitely not. One other thing that I need to do is I need to move these guys so they can potentially repair some rail. And I want to get a depot there. No, that sounds crazy, but it's probably for the better. Unfortunately, I cannot just leave these core lying about. Because if they move up, that would immediately route both of those here. I should actually unburden them by putting this under the 4th Corps already. That should help a little bit. I also have the 48th Panzer Corps here that could probably take some. Yeah. Why is that important? Well, I also really need to unburden 6th Army, which is still at 31, whereas 4th Panzer Army has 28 out of 36. So making sure that these units can get their rolls is also pretty important. I'll be putting everything here on a refit, just to see whether I can squeeze some troops into them. I believe it doesn't work like that. Like, I believe you cannot get reinforcements if you are adjacent to an enemy unit. But I kind of have to try. But I believe it doesn't work. The thing is, it's just so much better if I get the units at at this area too. But Cav also cannot enter. Romanian armored cannot enter. If I give them a flag regiment, that gives them quite a bit of 88mm guns. I'm gonna regret this. All right. So next turn, 2 infantry will get to the area and another armor division. It will have to do. Further in here, let's take a look. Yeah, I still have a little bit of time here. Let's start over in the north. Somebody told me it's probably a good idea to get some of these guys here under different command, because it's not very useful to have these units under that command. 18th Army is severely overburdened, and taking away some units might help alleviate that pressure, and I agree. What I'm gonna do here, though, is I'm gonna move 291st into this hex. And as I said, I want to use actually everything here to attack this. Okay, that's a good result. And regain control of the entire river. Now the 269th can go and do something. No, I'll take out the 254th and put you in here. I might actually take them up, but we'll see how that goes. At the very least, I also did get this Luftwaffe Field Division. I want to put it under the OKH here for the moment. And railed that Luftwaffe Field Division out all the way down south. That's where I need the reinforcements after all. It's always a bit weird that they cannot make the last one. But oh well. I don't need that unit there anymore, since the front line is now much shorter. And I think I probably only have one shot here. Yeah, I can't even. There are 5. Oof. It was still pretty harsh though. These guys are tough. Means I want to move them in there. And I'll get the 132nd in here. And 5th Mountain here. Okay. If they're gonna attack, I think they're gonna do it up there. If I'm to have any chance of retaining this, I think this is probably the best way to do it. They can move in there. I don't really care about that. The one area where they might attack seriously is this. And that would still be unfortunate. But I can't tackle everything as it is. Especially with the terrain being so bad. I actually think that taking these 3 hexes is already an exceptional boon to everything I want to do here. 20th Motorized is also something that I can strip away. They're at 55. They need to be in refit. But let's still get them under the OKH, and I want to send them down over to the Stalingrad area as well. Every unit that I have to spare I want to send over there. And I do have some units to spare, like here now. That attack really helped this mini encirclement here. Also, these are good divisions, I guess. Every single thing that I take down will help me delay the Soviets' advance just a little bit more. Let's actually take a look, because I can also reorganize this better. The 38th Corps should be taking both of these. Go into and go into Novgorod so they can help with the depot. This depot should be at 4. High priority, just like this depot. this depot, and then these two, or these, this should also be at 4. These two should be at 3. And this should be at 2. Okay, that's the deal. One, two, three, 4. Let's get these guys into the depot as well at Chudovo. 55 out of 27, still severely overburdened. And the HQs can still not even handle everything. I have too many units for the HQs. How is Army Group North holding up right now? Okay, let's put these under Army Group North. What is this exactly? Oh yeah, these units are of the 225th. These guys will go and be railed up, but they don't have the points here. Let's just put these guys on Army Group North too. Why not? Luftwaffe Field Division, huh? They could potentially be taken out once I get those guys in there. For now, let's put them in their Army Group North. Here we go. That seems to be a bit better. And now six. Eight. Have these guys reorganized, put the HQ onto the depot. Now there is the these two. The 26th. I better switch some of these up here. And to be honest, I kind of want to have a depot at Liuban as well for them to benefit from, and I think I can get both of those in there. 48 now. That's still way too much, but I do want to have some of these units still under the 18th. This is only 8, so that would take it down to 40, and I do feel especially that these units should be under the protection. I mean, the situation is a bit better. Still Georg Lindemann, that's fine. How are the support units in all of them? Not too great for these. And I also only have one howitzer. Of course, those units are not the most important there, but I do think that for the north that now looks plenty reasonable. I have to say that even here, yeah, let's just go out there. And take a little bit of the territory. Interestingly enough, there's probably a unit in here. I keep 12th Panzer in Veliki Luki for a refit. At the same time, I can get 19th Panzer Division. Let's actually see what they were up to, just for fun. Read it. Sent to Russia in 1941. 19th Division fought in the Białystok, Minsk, Smolensk, and Circumvents at naval. In the Battle of Moscow, losses were so heavy that 2 of its 3 panzer battalions had to be disbanded. It nevertheless remained on the central sector in the defensive battles in 1942 and was sent to the critical southern sector in late 1942. In January 1943, it escaped to Army Group Dawn after the 8th Italian Army, which it had been supporting, collapsed. The division took part in the Donetsk battles of early 1943, the Kharkov counteroffensive of March 1943, and the Battle of Kursk offensive in July 1943, and suffered heavy casualties in these battles and in the subsequent retreats. It was fighting near Kiev in November 1943, at Zhytomyr in December, was heavily engaged in the withdrawal through the northern Ukraine in March 1944. It formed part of General Huba's floating pocket in March and April, rushed north after Army Group Center was crushed. The 19th and 2 other panzer divisions surprised and destroyed the 3rd Soviet Tank Corps north of Warsaw, and thus halted the Russian summer offensive of 1944. It was cited for this action. In autumn 1944, the 19th Panzer was resisting west of the Vistula. Now at battle group strength, the division retreated through southern and eastern Poland, fought in the Baranov bridgehead battles in January 1945, and a subsequent retreat through Warthegau, Silesia, and southern Germany, and ended the war in the Deutsch Brod pocket east of Prague. So let's send them. For now I can put them in their 4th Panzer Army. It doesn't really matter, but let's see where they can go. Pretty far, actually. Wow. The part which I might find most tricky is leaving Tatsinskaya empty. Like, I don't want them to be able to just waltz in there, and I think these units, if they move in here and then try and attack, I don't think they'd be able to immediately take it, to be honest. Most likely they wouldn't, I would say. I would pray they wouldn't. That's maybe more like it. How about 12th Panzer? Did they also go down south? Withdrawn to Estonia to rest and refit. Soon back in action. 12 Panzer took part in the battle south of Leningrad 1942, including Lake Ladoga and Naval, before being sent to the central sector of the front. It fought at Vitebsk in February and at Kursk in July 43. Later battles of Gomel in the middle of the Dnieper and Dniester. Transfer back to Army Group North in January 1944. It arrived too late to prevent the Soviets from breaking the siege of Leningrad. But it did distinguish itself in a retreat across the Baltic states. That summer it tried to prevent the encirclement of the 4th and 9th armies, but it failed and was driven into the Courland Pocket in September. It fought the 6 battles of the Courland Pocket, where it served as a fire brigade for Army Group North. Later Courland. Much of it surrendered to the Red Army in May 1945 as a special sign of favor. On the orders of the Commander-in-Chief, Army Group Courland, part of the division was evacuated back to the west on the last ships, so that it avoided Soviet captivity. Oof. That's pretty harsh. Panzer IIs. Just looking at these here pictures. Looks so nice. Anyway, they're kind of refitting in Veliki Luki right now, which should definitely be a 4, and this should be a 2. Yeah. Alright, and then next turn I'll most likely go and deal with this last part, this here pocket, and potentially moving in the center and stuff like that. For now, let's take a look at things like, what do I have in reserve anyway? These 2 Sturm Brigades, they're not very powerful. Norway, they still have 4, but I cannot move most of it even now. In the west, there's barely anything that I can move. At the garrison, it's at 106. It means I can, at the very least, send some support units back to the map. Because I could take away 5. I think the 707th would be too much if you ask me, because they always take a bit more than what you see there. This will get withdrawn at some point. And currently I think at Italy we already have way too little. It sucks, but I cannot send it. Really? It's weird. How about this? I also cannot send that. Whereas I can send those units. Even the Romanian security, but then not these 2nd, 9th, and 156th Vicenza. Even this Romanian security division I can send away. Alright, let's get the 3rd Romanian Infantry Division and just read it. The 3rd Romanian Infantry Division was not deployed on the front until July of 1941. It participated in the 73-day siege of Odessa as part of the Romanian 4th Army. At the end of 1941, it was transferred from the front to Romania, where it remained. Later participated in defensive battles in Romania proper 1944. After Romania's capitulation to the Soviet Union in late 1944, it served in Hungary and Czechoslovakia under Soviet control. Now, I want to take a look as to whether the armies that I have here could take it. Yeah, I guess the 3rd Romanian Army can. So I'll take it from the garrison then to the map, because it can still serve. And then I can also take the 1st Hungarian Light Division, most likely. Again, let's take a look at the map and see whether this Hungarian army isn't already overburdened. Currently, it is not, and I'm gonna pull away this corps, so it can actually take a few more units afterwards. I might actually be able to pull 2 units out of the garrison, 2 Hungarian units, maybe. I'll see. No, we're at 101 now, and I don't think it's gonna be a good idea to take any more. It's 185, it's already too much, so that's basically what I'm gonna need to leave it at. Then Africa is too little, just like Italy, and the Balkans is too little too, but currently can't really send anything there, and it does have pretty low priority to me. These guys, well, they cannot move. And none of these other units are ready yet. So it's not as if I can send anything from there. Western Theater is also at too low, so I cannot do anything there either. The only one thing that I want to do for now, though, is get the OKH. Yeah. It has a lot of flak, and apparently also a heavy cannon battalion. Which I should probably send to 4th Panzer. I'll take a look at where the flag needs to go in the next episode. For now, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.